shalom and salam and peace. And those words really apply in a strange way to a passage from the Torah that we read this time of year, but we also remember it again at Passover time and maybe all through the year. It's a passage of two women who become almost unsung, but we know their names, heroines of the Torah. One's named Shifra, the other one's named Puah, and they were midwives. And Pharaoh said, kill the boy babies of the Israelites. You're midwives, you're there, right there when they're born. Kill them. And they didn't. They wouldn't. The Torah says they revered God, but there's not even a passage where God appears to them and says, don't do it. They just figured it out. Or maybe you could say the voice of God was the babies crying, and the face of God was the face of the babies. So they said, no, nothing doing. And when Pharaoh said, so what happened? They played a kind of joke, a pun. They said, to use it, the closest you could come in English would be to say, oh, the Israelite women are so animated, that is, like animals, that they give birth before we could even get there, like animals. So Pharaoh, who was, after all, racist, thought, yeah, those Hebrew women, they're just like animals. But in fact, what Shifra and Puah were saying was they're very animated, they're very together people. But what's interesting is this is the first act of nonviolent civil disobedience that we have a record of in all of human history. Pharaoh ordered murder, and the two of them refused. And they began the process of liberation from slavery under Pharaoh. These two women. There's even a big debate whether they were Hebrew women or Egyptian women, or maybe both, one and one the other. And I think actually the Torah is unclear, because the Torah is trying to say, you know what, doesn't matter. This was an international feminist conspiracy to save lives. And doesn't matter whether they were Israelites or Egyptians, these two women got together to save life. The question they raise for us today is, what does it mean to face a governments, plural, that don't care about killing children? They don't care about bombing children. They don't care about pouring carbon dioxide into the planet so that children get asthma and some of them die. They don't care about a whole series of things, which ends up killing children. What does it mean to do civil disobedience against that? One of the things that is already planned, and I'm expecting to take part in it, is a civil disobedience action against the coal power plant that's on the edge of the United States Capitol and actually feeds light and warmth into the Capitol building and the Senate and House office buildings and the Supreme Court and so on. That is both symbolic and practical. What does it mean for that coal to be pouring CO2 into the planet in order to give light, which turns out to be not enlightenment, to the folks who actually govern the United States? So that's a perfect place to carry the tradition of these midwives forward into our own generation, our own lives. Shalom and salam and peace and justice and healing of the earth as well.